Welcome back, people, and Happy New Year's, of course. I just finished ringing in the new year with a lot of great time spent with family and friends, as hopefully you saw with the Christmas blog. If not, go check it out. I'll link it up here as usual. And of course, if this is your first time to the channel, do the usual YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, etc., etc. So like many people, the turn of the new year always gets me thinking about where I am in life, and in a lot of ways it makes me reevaluate like what's important and what goals am I setting for myself, and am I reaching the goals that I used to have? Do I even still want to accomplish the goals that I had a year ago or before that? So I thought, what better way to set my focus than right here, beginning of the year, January 2020, set out some real, measured, thought out goals for myself, and I wanted to share them with you, and maybe you'll get something from it. Maybe you can steal one of the goals for yourself, like one of my goals I stole from Shay. Don't tell her. So first goal. This one's kind of a perennial attender of the goals list I usually set for myself, and that's to read more. With today's fast-paced world of, technology and media and constant consumption, it's important to sometimes slow down and take a minute to focus on you. And for me, a good way to do that is with a book, because it forces me to slow down for a minute. And if even the goal is still to escape in this story, I'm doing it in a way that feels more purposeful. I personally like to use an app called Goodreads, obviously not sponsored or anything, but it's this really cool kind of book catalog that you can use to keep track of what books you've read, what books you want to read, keep track of the progress that the books you're currently reading. And it's just a really good all-around app to help you keep track of not only what you're reading, but even discover new books. And also, as usual, my Christmas list was full of books that are on my want to read list. All right, next up. And this one is the one I stole from Shay. So last year, she set a goal for herself to travel at least once a month to a place she's never been and spend the night just away from Baltimore. It doesn't have to be some grand fancy vacation or exotic locations in Europe or Bali. Just go to Virginia or Vermont or New York. Just somewhere new, somewhere where you're not at home, somewhere where you're getting out of your comfort zone. And there's so many ways to do that on a budget without spending crazy money. Just hop in your car and go explore a little bit. And honestly, I'm already someone who likes to travel. I'm already someone who makes it a point to go places and try new things. But I have to say, her purposeful, goal-oriented way of going about it really inspired me to try to travel more as well and be more purposeful with how I'm choosing to spend my time researching travel and actually going on trips. I think I need to say purposeful a few more times. Purposeful, purposeful, purposeful. Anyways, so that's number 2. Travel to a new place at least once a month. My next one's more a spring cleaning themed goal. I bought this house 4.5 years ago now, and as you do when you've been in one place for a long time, you start to accumulate junk, whether it's knickknacks from trips or furniture that you've upgraded but didn't want to get rid of your old furniture, or just general junk that tends to just collect and take up space in rooms you don't use. And for me, that's one of my spare bedrooms. It serves as more of a storage room than an actual bedroom, and it's starting to get to the point where I'm not using that space in a way that I could. So my third goal this year is to just start throwing away old shit. Whether that means selling old tech I don't use, or just going through piles of old papers, or clothes I don't wear anymore, or linens I don't use, or finally repurposing that old door I have in the basement. It's just going to be a very focused attempt at decluttering, but I think that's it for that one. What else? Yeah, right. What I'm doing now. Create more. So if you've followed along much at all the last 3 or 4 months, you know that I'm just starting this kind of filmmaking creative process, and so far it's been very therapeutic, and so far my desire for it has only grown. It's to the point where now at work, all I'm thinking about is what can I make next, and how can I improve this technique, or what can I do better here? How can I make my editing more efficient? How can I make my data management more efficient? Writing small scripts or programs to import my files and convert them automatically. But more importantly, aside from all that, is just being more organized with the way that I'm creating content and not being ashamed to show my growth. Like, so many times people, myself included, myself certainly included, we never take that step of vulnerability that comes with creating something. And I guess I've reached a point where I don't want that to be a barrier anymore. Like, my big goal here is to leave behind those insecurities and get over my self-doubt and actually just create because I love it. Like, I don't care if anybody watches it. I want to create it for me. It's therapy and also a ton of fun. So that's my fourth goal. Create more. I feel like I'm starting to slouch. Maybe my fifth goal should be posture. Be better posturized. I think that's a word. Or is that milk? Anyways. So my last two goals are a little more YouTube specific. Number 5 is to improve my color grading skills. It's by far my weakest link. Goodbye. But it's by far the thing that I'm worst at, and I think from talking to some of my friends, it's quite often the biggest hurdle to get over when you're first learning to edit. So for me, that's going to be a very well-defined path for improvement, and it'll help with, you know, correcting for white balance and exposure and kind of those minor color corrections that I'm not really good at yet. I don't have an eye for it yet. And I know a lot of it just comes from experience too. So 2020 for me is going to be a learning process, and I'm excited about it. Which brings me to my 6th and final goal, which is reaching a YouTube subscriber milestone. For me, I put my goal at 10,000. So at the end of 2020, my goal for this year is to reach 10,000 subs. Short and simple. Now, how do I get there? I don't know, but I'm just gonna keep making shit and then see what happens. And I hope you'll follow along. So that's it. 6 goals, 2020. I'm excited. 2019 was a fucking amazing year, and 2020, here's to it being even better. See ya!